Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 39, and today we are returning with a special in-depth look at the saves. I take you behind the scenes of what's been going on around the world, plus the inner workings of Millwall Football Club, and some other stuff as well. So, yeah, let's just get straight to it. So I did this in my whole save a couple of times. It's a nice way of having a quick break before a new season starts after one finishes, and also a good way of showing you guys what's been going on around the world and some of the more important things in a save I sadly can't show you in a regular episode as there's just not enough time. And I guess the best place we'll start with is with me, my profile and my screen here, which you don't normally see, where right now, as you can see, I'm 29 years old in the game. I'm not there just yet, but it's creeping up on me, and you can see my coaching qualifications here and my stats as well. I'm currently studying for a Continental A license. I just did that in the game about like 3 days ago, and I'm currently a Continental B with a 2.5 star, almost 3-star reputation. I always start on National C license and work my way up, and that's why you wouldn't see these stats increase, but that's why they increase. When you do coaching courses, your stats increase gradually. Sadly, there's no way to actually decide what points you allocate other than at the start of the game when you're starting to save up. It would be nice to choose what sort of specialities you go for, because for those who don't know, when I played football as a youngster, I used to play in goal. I played in goal from the age of 6 until 18 when I decided not to play anymore. So my attacking and defending stats are up, but not my goalkeeping, which obviously wouldn't be realistic per se. But then Millwall are in the Premier League right now, so that's not realistic either, sadly. But also you see the stats that are improving here and why, and also my characteristics as well, where as things stand, my media handling is at 1%, as it always is, because I always send my assistant to the press conferences, and my handling team discipline is really low, it's 25%, but the others are pretty decent. And you see the best opinion there, David Livermore, Peter Crouch. Oh, we love Peter Crouch, who's now managing AFC Fly. That's really interesting because Jimmy Abdu is their under-23s manager. How cool is that? And also Tim Cahill has my best opinion as well, and there's quite a few in the worst opinion there, including Ash Jagger. Not a real surprise. And also my contract as well, as you can see, it does expire at the end of next season. I'm only getting paid $2,000 a week. I think we gotta ask JB for a new contract, right? I'm definitely gonna do that off camera and try and get a bit more money as well. And most importantly, try and get an extension, because I definitely deserve it with what I've done so far. And as for my overview of my history as well, you can see what I've been doing in terms of my game ratio, with my win ratio, I should say, and win percentage, which is at 40%, which is quite high, I would definitely say. Well, for my standards anyway. And that's just overall. I was going to say that's just Millwall. I've only been in charge of Millwall. So you can see the games played 249. Oh, we've won exactly 100 games. That's really cool. We've drawn 69. Lol, 69. And we've lost 80 games as well, scoring 327 goals, conceding 322. So that's quite a nice balance there. And yeah, that means a win percentage of 40%. I've been given 2 Manager of the Month awards, and I've earned 500 grand, I wish, and I've bought 29 players for 23 million, sold 11 players for 8 million, and over half of that was for Jordan Arch. That's our record sale, and of course our club record signing was Dale Fry. Expect that to be changed this season with all the money we've got heading into the new year. Also, a real quick look at my relationships as well with players and agents and staff as well. Right now, you can see I've got quite a very close relationship with a lot of players, including Clinton. Clinton Webster loves me, so does John Black, Marvin Brito, the Captain Hutchinson, Romeo, Cooper, Tunnicliffe, Ferguson. A lot of the players we currently got right now, and the Cheetah is currently out on loan at Huddersfield as well. But as for my rivals, you can see there's 3 here. Well, actually, it's just 2, but for some reason the Jag comes up twice. I've got Ash Jagger, who's a rival of mine. I think that's really, really interesting. And I've also got a rival, which is an agent, but I don't know how. I'm the only person on his dislike list. I have absolutely no idea how, but fair enough. And David Moyes doesn't like me either. Why doesn't David Moyes like me? I've always been like really lenient and sympathetic towards Moisey and all he's had to deal with in his career post Everton days. I don't know why he doesn't like me, but anyway, those are relationships right there. And as for the club as well, I want to show you this too. Right now you can see the general overview of the team right now, where Webster is deemed our key player, and of course our vice captain will change because Cahill, spoiler alert for the new season, is going to retire at the end of this season. Hopefully that will mean his tutoring finishes with Yannick before that, and he can capitalise on all the traits that Cahill has. Free. And also the general look at the club as well. Right now you can see our our favourite personnel list, icons list, and legend list. Obviously, this changes as the series goes on and as the save goes on. And we have Cahill as an icon, which he was when we first came in, but 3 players are now on the favourite personnel. There's Shane Ferguson, Jed Wallace, and Marvin Brito. Marvin Brito is a favoured personnel. I think that's really, really cool. Came out of the academy and is now made onto the favourite personnel list. I'm surprised that Webster's not there if Brito's there, but I'm sure he will be one day. And hopefully one day I'll be there as well. I mean, I've got Millwall promoted to the Premier League and kept them up. What more can I do to be a favoured personnel? Either way, we'll find out very soon. But also for the facilities as well, the club, as you can see, we have good training facilities, although I believe those are improving. And we've got great youth facilities even. Our youth level is now 2 as well. And our stadium has not increased in capacity since I took over, although we do fill out an awful lot of our games. And I probably will, due to our finances being so good right now, ask for an extension of, or is it expansion of our stadium capacity. Obviously, in real life, we have the issues with the council right now, but in the game, that's not a problem, of course. So I might ask for an expansion of our stadium at some point, because our finances are so good right now. And interestingly enough, we have no affiliate clubs either. Again, expect it to change heading to the new season, because if you've watched me play FM before, you'll know I love affiliate clubs. I think it's a really cool feature in the game to have either a parent club or a feeder club, and I haven't got an affiliate club yet, so I think I might look for a feeder club in the postseason and try and get one. So yeah, there you go. And as for the board, right now you can see my job title, we are very secure, 65% right now, which is fantastic. We've got 69 million in the budget for the new season, though I won't be spending all of that. And as for our current requests, we have improved the youth facilities, that was improved last season, and we're currently improving the training facilities as well, which will make it even better than it currently is right now. And as for the confidence too, right now I'm doing pretty well in the majority of the confidence criteria. Competitions are very good, of course, after a very successful last season. Matches, a bit of a struggling end to the season, but still not bad, 50%. Club stature's improving year after year, so that's great as well. Transfers, the board are always happy in every single save I do with my transfers. I always make really great deals with the club, or ordinarily. Club philosophy is 50%, although we have no philosophies anyway, so I can't really improve that. Finance is 100%, no real surprises there. Dressing room atmosphere is good at 60%. Managerial support is 91%, and the tactics is also 39% due to my reluctance to change to 4-4-2 for the vast majority of the series. And one thing to show you as well is that you might be surprised to see this. My job value is at just 1%. Now, I mentioned this in the whole save, but for those that were wondering what the money does in FM when you earn money, a lot of people think it means nothing because you can't spend it on anything like cars or houses or whatever. But actually, it does mean something. It means that if you are paid more money, it will cost more to sack you, and therefore your job value will increase. But right now, because it will cost basically no money to sack me, I lack security on the front, as the game says there. Now, as for the finances, we briefly touched on it in the last episode, but right now this club is as healthy as a horse. It's never been better for Millwall Football Club. We're up to £84.1 million in the bank right now, and of course the main reason behind that is getting to the Premier League. You can see how it was for the first 3-4 seasons. It was a struggle. We increased it a little bit, then it went down. We increased it a little bit, and it went down again. But due to playing in the Premier League, we have just gone up and up and up and up and up. And that is because when you play in the Premier League, you have that lovely TV revenue, which sees us earn 105 million in a single season. That's absolutely extraordinary. And when you compare that to what the sort of money you get in the Championship, it's the reason why our finances have just ballooned, because you don't get that sort of money playing in the Championship. That is why the Premier League is like the gold standard in FM, because you just earn so much money for playing in the top tier of English football. You can see right there, £1.8 million in a month for TV revenue. And when you compare that to our expenditure, that's the reason why in the previous seasons, we were basically just keeping our heads above water for the most part, if not going under the bank balance, because we didn't have that TV revenue coming in. Our expenditure was matched by our income, but now our income far exceeds our expenditure, hence why we've been able to raise our money so much this season, because as well, we don't pay our players much. We pay 350 grand a month for our players in terms of our wages, and I showed this in the last episode, but when you compare that to other teams in the division, that's just extraordinary. I mean, we're paying £18 million a year for our players. The next lowest spenders for wages is West Bromwich Albion with 54 million. That's we're paying almost a third of what they pay their players. and we finished above them. That is just incredible. So we pay our players very little, and yet we've survived our first year, and that's why our finances have increased so much this year, and why for the new season we've got 69 million in the budget, but I don't think we'll spend all of that, as I want to make sure we continue to rise our club in terms of our finances. And also because I think it's only fair that we give a lot of our current squad contract improvements, because they definitely deserve it after what has been a very successful first stint in the Premier League. But now for our staff as well, I'll show you our coaching team, our recruitment team, our medical team as well, for the first team and the under-23s and the under-18s as well. Right now, as you can see, we had the best defensive, attacking, fitness and mental coaches in the division. Mental coaching team in the division. We're behind Chelsea though in the goalkeeping department, and also in the technical, tactical and man management as well. I found that Chelsea in FM always have the best coaching staff in the Premier League, which is really interesting. But it seems to be that case every single year. And there's our recruitment team as well, where we're not doing too badly, but I'm finding it really hard to find very good scouts that want to come and work for us for Millwall. I don't really know why. I'm finding it quite difficult, and the ball want to cut back on that as well, which won't help us at all. And our medical team's quite good as well. The third best physiotherapy team in the division, and had the best sports scientists in the division as well. And as for who our coaching team consists of, you can see our current coaching staff. We've got quite a few ex-pros here in Jonathan Greening, obviously Phil Neville, my assistant, Westerman, Mehdi Lassen, Jason Brown, who of course was a very good goalkeeper back in the day, or a very decent goalkeeper, but even a better coach. Look at these coaching stats, love them. And our under-23s coaching team as well. You can see Ryan Mason is still here, by the way. I've been sending him on coaching courses, so he's getting better. Well, when we first had Mason, he had the National C license. He had terrible stats. I just brought him in because I thought it was quite nice, because obviously he played for us on loan very briefly, and of course had that sad career-ending injury. I thought it would be nice to bring him as a coach. He's increased his coaching stats really nicely. Of course, he's got the great working with youngsters stat as well. That's really cool, and he's getting better year after year, so that's awesome. And also our under-18s coaching team as well looks like this, and yeah, it's pretty decent. And that is the current staff setup we have. And I've said before, it's a really underrated part. I would say it's an underrated part of FM. It's a part of FM which I think you just can't afford to neglect, really. You've got to make sure your coaching staff improves year after year after year. If you want to see great development in your players and your youth players as well, always make sure you've got a really, really solid coaching team. And we certainly do. And that's why our players are progressing really nicely. Now let's move on to our current Millwall squad and our players, and we'll start with the dynamics, where as you can see the dressing room atmosphere is good right now, and the managerial support is excellent, not a real surprise, based on my good relationships with a lot of the players I've got, and the amount of time I've spent in the club as well. And as for the issues as well, right now just a few players are a little bit unhappy here. Menji wants a new deal, Cahill needs to leave, he's retiring at the end of the season anyway. Pyatt needs to leave as well, but he got that contract extension, so he's not going to. Marek wants a new deal, which he'll probably get, and Dobby wants a new deal as well. And as for the hierarchy, you can see the current dressing room leaders right now: Ferguson, our captain, Hutchinson and Jed Wallace, with Cahill as our vice captain, he's of course retiring at the end of the season. I think I might make Freddie my vice captain next season. He's got 14 for leadership, not bad, and I might make him my vice captain next year, and the influential players and the other players as well. And as for the social groups, this is not very good, and I've had it worse before. What you want when you have a social group is you want as many players in the core social group as possible, and as few players around these secondary social groups as well. You want a close-knit bunch, and at the moment we don't really have that. It's mainly due to the amount of new signings we made last season, bringing in 12 new players in one transfer window. But either way, it's not too bad. It could definitely be improved, and hopefully the amount of time these boys spend together, they'll start to gel a little bit more as the years go by as well. But I will say this, I've said this a couple of times before, this is definitely one of my favourite new features FM have done in recent years. I think it's really cool. I think that it's so important, like the morale of your players in a football team in real life is so crucial to the way players gel and the chemistry they have with one another as well. This is a really cool new feature from FM, and I got to give them props to that. I really like this a lot. And now we're going to take a look at the contracts of our players as well. As you can see, our top earner is Ben Chilwell on 27 grand a week. That's nothing in 2022. In 2022. But he's on 27 grand a week. And Pyatt as our second highest earner on 25 grand a week. Oh, does he have a match highest earner clause? Thank God for that, he doesn't. I was just thinking, because we're definitely going to make some new signings for this season and probably put players on a much higher wage than that. If Pyatt had a match highest earner clause, I would not be happy that I gave him that 1 year extension. He'd definitely be happy though. And the players that are leaving their deals at the end of this season, only one, that's Gary Cahill, who's retiring anyway. And the rest are for next season: Pyatt, Ferguson, Tunnicliffe, Long, Cooper, Romeo, the captain Hutchinson and Fulton as well. So no major stars, but definitely players will look to try and extend their deals for or sell them and cash in on this transfer window if we can. But the contract situation situation right now is looking really, really healthy. Our main stars don't expire for another 2 to 3 years, and that's really important because we can keep them on a lower wage for the time being, and as our club begins to rise in stature and money, we can get them better deals as the years go by. As for our under-23s, you can see the team we've currently got right now and the best players we have in this under-23 squad. There's probably only one standout here. That's Yannick Vergers, of course, we brought in January, who is learning from Gary Cahill. He's progressing quite nicely, only 18 years old, so still could play a pretty decent role in our first team. The Chiefs are currently out on loan at Huddersfield right now, though he's barely played there. And as for our under-18s, our academy boys, the best one at the moment is Nana, who we discussed very recently. He is learning from Ferguson, but his determination has not risen. That's really annoying me, obviously. And he's still looking pretty not great, average at very, very best. So not too many great youth prospects at the moment in the academy or the under-23s, but most of which are in the first team right now. So that's good enough for me. And moving away from Millwall to end the episode off as well, what I'm going to show you is the World Cup, the Euros, and a couple of leagues as well outside of England too. And also who got promoted in the Championship playoff final between Leeds and Middlesbrough. I know, do you? Well, you find out in a minute. We'll start off with the World Cup then, appropriately, because of course the World Cup kicked off today with Russia versus Saudi Arabia. That's not kicked off for me just yet in real life, but you'll obviously know the result by the time the video comes out. I'm predicting Russia to win that game pretty comfortably, to be honest. And as you can see, the World Cup 2022 is going to be hosted by Australia, which is currently on the going right now, or just about to kick off today. That's coincidental. Is it the 10th of June today? No, it's the 14th, okay. But that's pretty coincidental. But the World Cup, my voice went really high, didn't it? The World Cup's kicking off today in the game and in real life too. It's actually being hosted by Australia. This is quite interesting because in real life, 2022 is going to be in Qatar, but there's been a lot of talk that it will be relocated due to multiple different issues, but I don't think that's going to happen. In FM, it happens every single save I do. In this year's FM and the previous FM and the previous FM as well. But in real life, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll keep it in Qatar, and that's where the 2022 will be located. But anyway, in the 2018 World Cup, which of course is now underway for you guys, and me obviously as well, in real life, Spain were crowned champions of that one. And also for the Euros, let's get to that next. You can see that Germany won this one, although I think I already showed you that already. So now let's do the Champions League, the Europa League, and then we'll move on to the other leagues around the world as well. The Champions League this year, Borussia Dortmund won it. They beat Barcelona by 3-1. AS Monaco won it the year before that, beating Liverpool in the final. And then before that, PSG beat Chelsea, Arsenal beat Barcelona, and in the current season we just had, Man City beat Monaco in Kiev. That's kind of interesting. And as for the Europa League, what's that going to be called in the game? I'm not sure. Hold on a second. Euro Cup, here we are, where Spurs beat Arsenal in a North London derby in the final. How about that? Played in Germany, but either way, it's still North London derby, and they won it, which means they'll qualify for the Champions League for next season. So even though they missed out in the Europa League on the final day in the game, they'll qualify for the Champions League by beating their rivals Arsenal in the final. And as for the past winners, the year before that, Dortmund beat Spurs in the final. Funny enough, Galatasaray beat RB Leipzig in 2020. Liverpool beat Valencia the year before that, and in the current season we just had, Arsenal beat Chelsea in another all-English affair, and there you go. So that's the Euro Cup, and now let's move on to some other leagues. Oh, and just real briefly, the Championship playoff finals won by Middlesbrough. They beat Leeds United by 2-0, and they'll be joining Crystal Palace, and of course, who finished runners-up again? Norwich in the Premier League for next season. And so to end with, what I'll do is show you what's been going on around the top 8 leagues in terms of competition and reputation around the world right now. I only have La Liga and the Bundesliga loaded as playable leagues other than the top 4 divisions in England. So I can't show you, sadly, an in-depth look at Italy, France, Turkey, Russia and Portugal. But hopefully you'll be satisfied enough with seeing who's been winning the top tier of those countries. Starting with Spain then and La Liga, where as you can see, Real Madrid have been crowned champions this season. And as for the past winners, Atletico Madrid have won 3 of the last 5 titles. Fair play for splitting up Barcelona around. That's really impressive there. Who's in charge? Simeone? No, Guardiola. Oh, interesting. Pep's gone to Atletico Madrid, and he's doing really well there. Fair play. They've won 3 of the last 5. That's really impressive, considering how good Real Madrid and Barcelona are, both in the game and in real life too. As for the Serie A, well, the past winners, Juventus are continuing to dominate. However, Inter did win the year before last. Fair play to them. Juventus finished runner-up that year, but Juventus are just absolutely dominating, just in real life, and that shouldn't really come as much of a surprise. As for the Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund won it this year to stop Bayern's dominance there. So fair play to Dortmund, who normally do really well in FM. And Bayern didn't even finish in 2nd or 3rd in this year in the Bundesliga. Where did they finish? Surely 4th. Yeah, 4th. But 26 points behind Dortmund. Wow, that's crazy. And they only just made it as well. That's, wow. Wow, what is going on at Bayern? Conte, sort it out, bruv. Either way, that's bizarre. Wow, that's great. I'm sure they'll pick it up next season, but dear oh dear, to have their reign ended and then to only just finish 4th, that's interesting. I'll keep my eye on that as the save progresses. As for Ligue 1, Paris Saint-Germain are continuing to look really, really strong alongside Monaco, who just won 1 title in the saves that have progressed, in the season that progressed during the save. As for the Turkish Super League, Galatasaray have won the past 3 and Besiktas the past 4 before that. As for the Russian Premier League, Spartak Moscow this year's champions, CSKA Moscow the year before that, and Zenit the year before that as well. And as for the Portuguese league, how much you want to bet it's Benfica or Porto? It is, yep, Benfica, who right now are absolutely dominating. Porto have won one title other than this run where Benfica have just been absolutely dominant. And yeah, there you go. So those are the top 8 leagues. And I think the final thing I'll end with actually is the World Player of the Year and show you who's been picking up the Ballon d'Or year after year. And well, that's a surprise. This year it was Paulo Dybala at Paris Saint-Germain with Neymar in second and Moise Kean in third place for Chelsea. Year before that, Ronaldo at Real Madrid, Harry Kane at Man City and Dybala in third at PSG. Year before that, it was Fekir at PSG, interestingly enough. We'll see a Liverpool target this year in real life. Barcelona forward Suarez was second in 2019 and Kane in third. Year before that, Neymar won it, Ronaldo in second. Where is Messi? Where is... Messi's not anywhere to be seen. What's going on there? Messi isn't even in the top 3 for these past 4 years. That's absurd. Has he like not been playing well or something? Well, I mean, you know, considering Messi's standards, I guess you could say it's a drop-off in quality. When you're scoring 16 goals in 33 games and 10 assists, it's hard to say that. But I guess due to Messi's supernatural stats, that's a surprise. But either way, that sort of does explain why he's not been in the top 3. But my word, it's still incredible, right? But anyway, that's the World Player of the Year. That's who's been doing what around the leagues. And that is the special in-depth look at saves. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this special in-depth look. If you have, then please drop a like, as likes are, of course, very much appreciated. We will return in the very next episode with the new season beginning, our second season in the Premier League, with the transfer special, where we've got £69 million to play with in our transfer budget. Should make a new club record signing, quite a few new players coming in, I'm sure, so don't miss that episode. And of course, we'll have the first game of the new season as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the special in-depth look at the save. Much love to you all. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you for the next episode, the season opener, very soon. Bye.